Idea of going to London for a press conference to show the achievements of President Tinubu. The question is it the achievement of hunger and poverty and the killing of our valiant soldiers by this faceless terrorist group is going to show in London? Why do you need to go to London? You have ministerial briefings every time there. Is that not a show of achievement alone?
All right, Rufai, I mean, you have just made the point there. And, you know, it takes me to my next story.
So, guys, that's Rufai speaking tough. As report says, Tinubu's ministers headed for the UK to go discuss Tinubu's achievements. So, guys, you believe the APC to your own detriment. Recently, this government told us that they have embarked on Nigeria First project, meaning they are going to be encouraging Nigerians to consume Nigerian-made goods. And now, they've gone to the UK to just go and have a meeting on the achievements of Tinubu, which Nigerians cannot feel the impact. So guys, I'm just going to allow you to take a look at this session where Arise crew members have, dissected this topic, and let me just know your honest reaction, because guess what? There is nothing we are not going to see, from this APC-led administration. Just take your time, watch this video, and let me know your honest reaction in the comment section below. Now take a look.
As many governors also come out to challenge the president on this idea of going to London for a press conference to show the achievements of President Tinubu. The question is it the achievement of hunger and poverty and the killing of our valiant soldiers by this faceless terrorist group is going to show in London? Why do you need to go to London? You have ministerial briefings every time there. Is that not a show of achievement alone?
All right, Rufai, I mean, you have just made the point there. And, it takes me to my next story, which you have just mentioned now. Meanwhile, top government officials, including the Minister of the Federal Capital Territory, Nyesom Wike, and Minister of Works, Dave Umahi, are heading to London to unveil the achievements of President Bola Ahmed Tinubu's administration at an international press conference, eliciting a wave of reactions. The event, which is scheduled for Friday, June 27th, will serve as a platform for ministers and agency heads to highlight key accomplishments over the past 2 years. Well, let's take some reactions. This is from Ben, who wrote, "They leave Nigeria to contribute to the already thriving fifth largest economy in the world, yet just last week they were preaching Nigeria first. It's clear they are completely out of touch. I suppose next, Keir Starmer will relocate his entire team to Abuja because clearly they have no real concern for the country they claim to lead." Well, Chigozie wrote, "Tinubu's ministers flying to London to showcase achievements is peak hypocrisy. If your work truly speaks, why run abroad to seek validation? Nigerians are hungry, angry, and broke. Fix that first. This regime spends more on image than impact." Dr. Abatti, over to you.
Okay, first, let me deal with the statement by Governor Rotimi, because I was in government during the period that he was talking about, and, as a witness to history. Now, he's saying that they were very radical during their time,
yes.
And Governor Sule Lamido, as he then was also very radical, and they were always challenging the Jonathan administration. This should be put in context. What I recall was that at that time, with Governor Rotimi Amechi, as he then was, as chairman of the Governors Forum, he was leading the rebellion against the federal government for the sharing of the excess crude account. Excess crude account was, saving money for the raining day. And Dr. Konje-Iweala was coordinating minister of the economy at that time. The first rebellion that he led was to say, look, this process should be for the federation account. Just let us share the money. I think they succeeded at the end of the day. So the radicalism is that of governors confronting the president of Nigeria. Of course, when he wanted to get a second term as governor of chairman of the Governors Forum, of course, the presidency did not support Governor Amechi because he had over-radicalized the Governors Forum against the federal government. Now, maybe that's what he's talking about opposing challenging the authority of the president of Nigeria. Now, another incident that I recall is that, look, that second term, I think there was division. 16 to 19 or so, with Governor Jang leading one faction, with Governor Amechi leading another faction at that time. In other words, due to differences on what should be done with funds, there was, of course, a disagreement between the presidency and the governors. As for Governor Sule Lamido, as he then was, the confrontation that Governor Amechi, as he then was, may well be talking about, was that during the Jonathan presidency, one of Governor Alhaji Sule Lamido's sons was arrested at the airport for not declaring the forex exchange that was on him. I think it was about $50,000, whereas you are not allowed to carry more than $10,000. Now, Governor Lamido then, felt that this was embarrassing, that the son of the governor should not be treated in this manner. Of course, till that government came to the end, he was not on good terms, more or less, with President Jonathan. So these things must be put in context. Now, radicalism that requires governors to be confronting the federal government, is that what is being recommended? The second thing is that, apart from the president, it's not the president alone that constitutes this democracy. What of the governors and their own responsibilities? All these governors that are serving under President Tinubu now, okay, even if they say they have moral right to confront the president, how responsible are they themselves? Many of these governors should be challenged on a daily basis by the House of Assembly. So that's that about that. But I've congratulated Alhaji Sule Lamido on the publication of his autobiography. I've read out his profile. He's an accomplished politician. There's no doubt about that. But to say attacking the president is a virtue, has to be properly contextualized. Now, on the issue of going to London, roadshow, where it looks like a jamboree. Yeah. When you look at all the persons involved, they are going with the Minister of Interior, they are going with Minister of the FCT, they are going with NUPRC CEO, the CEO of the Mortgage Bank, the Federal all of that. It's like they are all leaving town. Okay, the contest.
At the same time.
The contest is that this is midterm of President Tinubu. By May 29, there will be celebrations up and down. But the crowd that is going to London, I mean, all those people will go with assistants. So the explanation they can give is that, they want to go and explain to Nigerians in the UK. Where, of course, we have, a large Nigerian community, including, present company, but
Adefemi Akinsoya.
they know you're an American.
No, I mean, she's British,
she's
right?
British
yes.
Nigerian.
Yeah.
So maybe to explain and engage Nigerians in London, where every little thing somebody will go and protest. Every little thing there will be a street protest. Yes. But the size, the scale, and the timing of it, and the design of this, what appears to be a jamboree, is what we question.
Absolutely. I mean, Dr. Abatti, speaking about, officials going to London and the street protests, which you are absolutely right, because on Monday, dozens of Nigerians under the Rescue Nigeria Now movement staged a protest outside the Nigerian High Commission and the UK Home Office. The protesters were demanding the deportation of former NNPCL boss Mele Kyari, accusing him of fleeing Nigeria to evade EFCC persecution over alleged multi-billion-dollar corruption. The protesters carried placards with inscriptions that read, "London is not for public officials who abuse public trust," chanting, "Kyari must go." The group submitted petitions to both Nigerian and UK authorities alleging that Kyari mismanaged refinery funds and ran a shady fuel subsidy regime while Nigerians faced fuel shortages. I know we have those images. There they are, the images of the Nigerians outside there protesting at the UK High Commission. Although it is unconfirmed if Kyari is in London at the moment, but this is what Nigerians are doing at this point, telling our officials, listen, don't come here to hide. Don't come here to hide our money. Don't come here and, evade arrest. We will call you out. I'd like your thoughts on both stories. Nigerians go and the ministers, officials going abroad to showcase their achievements to the people of London, and of course, the story I just read.
Okay, well, Nigerians are angry.
Yes.
And when you bring up NNPC, it's an emotional topic for a lot of people because of the amount of money that has gone through that institution without commensurate development or dividends to the people. Now, the recent report from the World Bank, which says that, okay, when subsidy was removed, not all of it was it wasn't even being paid into the Federation account. Only recently 50% started being paid and so forth. Because NNPCL itself has arrears, it has commitments, there's so much happening there. So they've called for a forensic audit. The question is, this audit, when is it going to happen? Because Mele Kyari himself has said that whenever they call me, I will answer. I will answer for my tenure. So what needs to happen is this: the current leadership, the new sheriffs in town of NNPC, need to hit the ground running where the forensic audit is concerned, because people want answers. People want to know what really happened. Does it need to be handed over to the EFCC? Whoever needs to be handed over to the relevant organization. Heads must roll, and somebody must be accountable, because we know that the rot was there. And of course, Mele Kyari, as the figurehead, is the person that people will target their anger towards. So I hope that this investigation can happen very quickly. Now, to the jamboree, as Dr. Abatti called it, in London, I have two ways of looking at this. I have two perspectives. The first perspective is that when an economy is doing well, your citizens will be the first people to be your ambassadors. Even those in the diaspora will be the first to tell people around them that our country is doing well. So when you're traveling around, yes, of course, diplomatic engagement is important, even for economic engagement to attract investors and so forth. But it reads damage control is what it sounds like and it looks like. So when I read one of the statements, they were saying that they want to counter some of the negative narratives, the demarketing that has been done out there. Is this the way to do it, or is the solution to hit the ground running and correct those things, and so that you don't give people an opportunity to do what you're calling demarketing? On the other side of it, very quickly, I'll talk as quickly as possible. On the other side of it, I listened to a story the other day from Zimbabwe, actually, where a delegation went to Japan. And they said that they struggled when it came to engaging the Japanese businesses. Why? Because most of the investors there thought that Zimbabwe still had the condition of hyperinflation that it became known for. So they were saying that, yes, sometimes when we go around the world and we talk about our country's problems, we don't realize that, yes, there is a stigma that is created that some who are too lazy to do their research are unable to overcome when trying to engage in business. So in doing so, it's a catch-22 for me. But this engagement could have been done very easily virtually from here, any part of Nigeria, and the message still would have hit home, not just to UK, but to the whole world.
Absolutely, and I agree with you.
And ambassadors, they'd be able to do that too, isn't it?
Exactly.
We still don't have
I love that point that you made, virtually, and which is what a lot of Nigerians were asking. Couldn't they do this virtually? Like you said, it's a complete jamboree. We're exporting our money out there. What is the purpose of showing off what? I mean, they just unveiled the Nigeria First policy. Well, I hope that, the administration will listen or take a look at what we are talking about here. If there's a way they can change this whole jamboree, it's in June. I believe it's happening in June. If not, I hope the people in London will attend the conference. We'll take another story now. Many Nigerians and students are protesting the results of the 2025 Unified Tertiary Matriculation Examination, UTME, citing unusually low scores on Tuesday. Parents stormed the JAMB office in Lagos to express their displeasure, noting that over 78% of candidates scored below 200 out of a possible 400 points. The students and their families have also taken to social media to demand a review of the results using the hashtag "This is not my result." Let's take a look.
This is JAMB office. You can see now. This is JAMB office. We are at the gate, and they have refused to attend to us. They have refused to attend to the parents. Look at parents. You can see now. Look at parents. Everybody is upset. High-performing students are scoring 140 something in JAMB. 140 something, 130 something. And the security man is talking anyhow to the parents. Don't push anybody. Don't push any parent. Don't push any parent. Don't push anybody.
JAMB has killed me. JAMB needs to release my results. Like, I'm not even going to accept this. I literally knew what I wrote. Everything I wrote. I knew everything. People are getting older every year. They can't keep repeating exams every year. People are getting older. You are playing with our career. You are playing with our academics. You are playing with our efforts. Like, you are messing us up. This is not fair. Nigeria government, I literally had valid reasons for picking every answer I picked on that exam. JAMB officials, you should come out and explain. Students can't be failing every year. It's a lie. It's a lie. I don't believe this. You guys can't keep making money from the citizens every year.
I had my exam on Monday the 28th, and it's like most people on that Monday, they had problems because my system logged me out two times. So I don't know, maybe as it logged me out, the answer maybe submitted for me or something. So I really want to know what the problem is with JAMB. JAMB should be able to tell us what the problem is and where someone like me can drop from 297 to 155.
All right, Adefemi, this story has been trending since last week. I believe that they said JAMB is reviewing the results due to the volume of complaints. But you heard that young lady right there saying that, during the exam, while she's writing, the app will log her out. But also, I got so many comments online. People are saying, it's not because of that. It's because you people are not reading. I believe you sent me an article yesterday about CBN Governor Cardoso saying many Nigerians don't read. And so those are some of the comments that they're saying, people are just so engrossed with social media. But we are seeing serious complaints here from parents, from students, from people that are saying, listen, my child is brilliant. There's no way they can get this score.
So in situations like this, wherever you are in the world, when people receive exam results that they don't think are reflective of their actual achievements, perhaps the trajectory of what they were achieving before they actually sat down for the exam, it's commonplace to have a protest. And using the United Kingdom, for example, for GCSEs and A-levels, you can call for certain papers to be remarked if you and your teachers believe that what you have achieved according to the exam board is not reflective of your attainment up until that point or the expectations of you. So theoretically speaking, I do think on an individual case-by-case basis, it's not out of the ordinary for students and teachers and parents to feel the way they feel. The situation here is a bit different though, because it's so many students scoring so poorly. And when we took this story during the newspaper review earlier this week, or even last week I remember reading it out, and even Rufai saying, wow, because the numbers, the scoring was huge. So I can definitely empathize with students, because as someone who was a student not too long ago, you are counting down the days to your results day. And so to see this happen, it is quite heartbreaking. But we also did hear that they have called on IT technicians in order to investigate what is going on, because it just seems, because of the scale of complaints, perhaps there is a technical glitch issue happening here.
Investigations are ongoing. Dr. Abatti.
The story is as follows. 1.9 million students registered for the UTME, as it's otherwise called this time around. Out of that 1.9 million, 1.5 million students scored below 200. 200 is usually the basic threshold for most of the universities. Some in the northern part of the country ask for lower. But in terms of percentage, so people are alarmed that why is this level of failure so high. However, JAMB is taking steps to address the matter. An internal review started yesterday, which will end today. So internally, there have been meetings since yesterday in response to public complaints, which seem to be very unusual and very high. Now, on Thursday, there's going to be an expanded meeting, that's Thursday this week, of vice chancellors, rectors of polytechnics, commissioners of education, interested parties, maybe even parents will be invited to take a look at these complaints. In that regard, the Oloyede-led JAMB shows that it is also concerned about what is happening with regard to this. And JAMB has promised that where there are indications, confirmed indications of technical glitches, that these will be corrected, and students who may have been affected by those technical glitches will be given the opportunity to rewrite the exam. However, there are other views. The Minister of Education, Dr. Tunji Alausa, says that, look, what has happened is that JAMB has become more vigilant than at any time about examination malpractices.
Okay.
JAMB has had cause in the past to even arrest and prosecute students and prosecute parents. Those parents who used to go to the CBT centers, we call them, to assist their parents and to other people, their works, yes. And other persons who are involved in acts of impersonation. Professor Isiakoloede, the registrar, says that in fact, when an initial review was done, the results for this year followed a pattern, historical pattern in terms of performance. That this low JAMB scores, this is not the first time it will happen. In 2023, the rate of failure was 76%. And that is why some people are saying that, look, the quality of education in the country has fallen. Some of the states where their students used to do very well in JAMB exams, they have not done well. But yet, despite this 1.5 million that scored below 200, we have examples of students in some schools in Abuja, even in Lagos here, who scored as high as 385, 386. It's the same exam that they all wrote. And that's why, people are being called upon, parents are being called upon to pay more attention to the education of their children. Right. I think somebody also says, the quality of education has gone down.
Dropped,
it's a cocktail of issues.
It is.
But I think the important thing is that, JAMB is saying, okay, we have heard you,
right.
But those steps that I have outlined, even as we speak now, that meeting is ongoing.
Fantastic.
In Abuja.
And we will follow up on it. There must be a review, really. It will be a very sad situation if the case is that they are actually failing because of some technical issues. Well, talking about students and, more of that, in the United Kingdom, Prime Minister Keir Starmer on Monday announced major changes to the country's immigration system as part of efforts to cut legal migration and restore public confidence, which includes strengthening the English language and reducing the length of time students can stay in the country after completing their studies. Well, under the new rules, the graduate visa route will also be reduced from 2 years to 18 months, while the residency requirement for settlement and citizenship will be extended from 5 to 10 years. The reforms outlined in a white paper titled Restoring Control Over the Immigration System also proposed phasing out overseas recruitment for social care jobs by 2028. Well, in the meantime, this is all coming after Conservative Party leader Kemi Badenoch urged Starmer to adopt a bill that will deport all foreign criminals. The bill also includes mandatory age checks and tougher visa rules and aims to make asylum support repayable. Well, let's take a look before we come back for a discussion.
We've introduced a deportation bill because we're committed to bringing immigration down. Back in February, we demanded Labour triple the time for new immigrants to get a British passport. They voted it down. And now they've brought in some half-assed version that's not going to work. Here's what will work. Deport all foreign criminals. Mandatory age checks. No more pretending to be kids. Tougher visa rules and salary thresholds. Disapply the Human Rights Act to immigration cases. No more abusing human rights laws to dodge deportations. Make asylum support repayable, and no permanent right to stay in the UK if you've relied on benefits. Until that's law, we won't fix this. Labour should adopt it now. It's time to get tough. That's what the Conservatives' deportation bill delivers, and we're going to go further. Our country is a home, not a hotel, and if we don't defend it, no one else will.
All right. I'm coming to you, our international correspondent, on this topic. Absolutely. I wanted to go to Rufai, but we are still waiting for connection with Rufai. Yeah. But, since you are British and you know these stories, in fact, I'd like for you to tie in both stories because we wanted to take Kemi Badenoch, making this whole immigration issue her brand. Yeah. And she talked about the fact that by this year, 2 million migrants will become British citizens. And she's not really happy with that. Well, not happy at all.
First and foremost, that's not a bad thing if people are legally becoming citizens. I think that's the whole point. That you want legal migration, you want people with talent to come into the country and receive citizenship off the back of it. It is unfortunate that Kemi herself, as you've said, has made this her personal brand, because she is the person who has benefited personally from being able to be an immigrant, from having these opportunities. And it is unfortunate, we do see this a lot, that people come into the country, are able to reap the benefits of the United Kingdom and then close the door behind them. That is unfortunate. It is being a gatekeeper, and it is very sad. That being said, when it comes to the topic of foreign criminals being deported, that's actually not too far away from what actually is the state of affairs in the United Kingdom. If you are arrested, often you are asked to prove what your immigration status is, and if it is determined that you don't have a right to be in the country, you will be deported. So she's not really saying something that's so really of substance.
Absolutely. Now we have Rufai Oseni. Your thoughts on Keir Starmer at this moment, reducing legal migration, and of course Kemi Badenoch talking about deporting foreign criminals and reducing this sort of immigrants coming into the United Kingdom. Your thoughts?
Oji, the truth is painful, but I love to say it. This is a reflection of how Nigeria has gone down the drain. The fact that the British are trying to reduce the number of students that will come in, and Nigerians are unhappy about it. This was the same Britain in the 70s that when Nigerian students go to school there, they come back to Nigeria. In fact, in the 70s, if you went to school abroad, they laughed at you because the quality and the standard of education here was a whole lot better. And I do not blame Kemi Badenoch, because this was what she was voted for. If you go and look at the Tory hard rights, they are pro-immigration. And as the immigration numbers keep going up, they don't want people to come to their country. So they will try as much as possible to siphon opportunities like social care and the likes, just to be able to discourage people. The question is, when are we going to fix our country? In the 1970s, the dollar was less than the naira. Today, it's 1,600. Oji, we are talking about educational system. Educational system is so bastardized today, and I think JAM needs to also investigate, because those students who have a point as regards, there might probably be a technical glitch, we don't know. But in generality, educational system is so bastardized today because over the years, government has not invested in it. Education started getting bad after the Ali Must Go riot, when the same government started to defund education. And the truth is, our politicians can say the students are not reading. Are they incentivizing education for them? Look at the awards given to a child that does very well in school, and look at the award given to the winner of Big Brother. Do we look like a society that wants education to thrive? So I'm not surprised that we are having results like this, because we have not done a lot in the educational sector over the time. And it is very sad that the same political leaders today that enjoyed free education, that enjoyed scholarships, are the one prevailing over the destruction of the educational system in Nigeria. This is an indication for us to go back, buckle our belt, and do better. If Nigeria was working well, and that was the point I was making when I was saying we don't need to go to Jamboree to the UK and go and sell Nigeria. If Nigeria was working well, the same UK that a lot of Nigerians that when they go to school abroad are proud to come back home, is the same UK they are trying to stay back in today. It's because things are not working well. And when we say it, people will start feeling bad. The truth is bitter. We'll say it to them. Until we look inwards and introspect and grow this nation with a lot of potential, we're not going to get anywhere. We're going to keep revolving around these circles and having all of these stories. Oji, real quickly as I wrap up.
All right.
The federal government is trying to get life insurance for government officials at a time Nigerians are suffering. What is the welfare of our soldiers? It's constantly about themselves and these political people. We need to change the mindset. That's why Nigeria is not working today.
All right. All right.
So guys, you have seen it for yourself. These are some of the things we keep saying that, see, leadership is the biggest challenge Nigeria has ever had. At a time when our military men are being buyed, these people are celebrating defections, they are celebrating, oh, this person left this party to the APC. The chairman of the APC party has come out to say there's nothing wrong with one party system. After all, that's what China is practicing. China is not a democratic country, for God's sake. So all the efforts people have put in to sustain democracy in Nigeria is being crushed by desperate politicians who just want to stay in power because of the money they can loot, not because of the impact. What is it that they've done? They've ended up making Nigerians poorer, making Nigerians crying. Nothing is working in this country. And now they are telling us that they are going to the UK to go discuss Tinubu's achievements in 2 years. It's just because they know that they've not achieved anything. They just want to go and package a lie that they will tell the Nigerian people. And they don't want media to capture it. They don't want it to leak before time. That's why they are going to the UK to go and see how they can, package their lies. And that's why they will take the little resources we have in this country to travel to the UK to go discuss things that the impact is not being felt. Tinubu's achievement. Nigerians are crying, they can't eat, there's no security, nothing is working in this country. So sometimes you just look at it, you begin to wonder if these people have brain. We have bunch of, the non-creative people in leadership. They don't have anything to offer. They don't have anything. And you see some youth supporting the Tinubu's government. So guys, I don't know what you make of all this. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. Please don't forget to subscribe to the channel. Turn on the notification bell. Give this video a like so that YouTube can recommend it to others. Drop your thoughts in the comment section below. Thank you.